Agriculture and Food Sciences. Here are the programs. I will also introduce the guests individually. The organizer of the session is Management University. Probably you know about us. You can find all the study programs offered by German universities in one place. You can filter down your or narrow down your searches and find the programs. Today we're talking about these 4 programs, and you can also find information about them there as well. In case you want to know about universities more, we also have something new, which is called 𝘈𝘢𝘕𝘓𝘕r, and you can see university profiles, what some highlights about them, and so on. I think this is also nice add-on for the ones who are searching for future study program in Germany. Please check out our articles for questions like how to apply via UniAssist or some general questions, sometimes also very concrete about visa waiting times in XYZ country and so on. We try to follow all the updates and inform you about them as well. Here comes the webinars. So thank you once again for joining the webinar. We have approximately 200 webinars per year, subject which are much more interesting than general webinars, but I also need to mention about general webinars where we provide broader information like UniAssist, visa, scholarship, blocked account, opportunity card, and others. But for subject webinars, they are very interesting because you get this first-hand information from guest speakers from German universities, and we are always very thankful for their time and for contributing to the sessions. This is our team. We are based in Hamburg, Germany. We are counseling in different languages and, of course, are happy to share our experiences as me, for example, as an international, or my German colleagues on the way of how you can study in Germany. I will keep all the slides because you will receive them as a follow-up email. Therefore, I would like to right away give the mic to Dr. Eva Bauer, who will be presenting from 𝘗. I think it's the first time 𝘗 is participating in a webinar with us, and Master Science Program AgriFood Economics Policy and Regulation will be presented.
On my side, my name is Eva Bauer, and I'm a student advisor at 𝘗 School of Life Sciences. If you're interested in tackling challenges in the agri-food sector, our international master's program, AgriFood Economics Policy and Regulation, might be interesting for you. The program is handled by different schools at 𝘗. We have 7 schools, and 3 schools are involved in the program, but it mainly takes place at 𝘗 School of Life Sciences, which is on the 𝘗 campus Weihenstephan, and the name Weihenstephan might be familiar to some of you because it's really a global brand in life and food sciences, and the only university in the world which has its own brewery. 𝘗 is very proud of being a university of excellence and has earned this title 3 consecutive times now. We are a quite big university with more than 53,000 students. Approximately 30% are international students at our 𝘗 School of Life Sciences. 𝘗 performs quite well in international rankings, but that's the big numbers. Some more details on 𝘗 School of Life Sciences. So that's a picture of a part of our campus. It's a very green campus, very nice, with good places to stay. We have 3 research departments. We have various core facilities, technology core facilities. There are around 100 professors at the moment here. About 1/3 are female professors. We have more than 4,600 students, and as I said, around 30% are from almost 100 countries overall. And there are also lots of PhD students. So if you intend to pursue your academic career further, there are also options for that. So a little background on the complexity of modern agri-food systems. They are characterized by many trade-offs between various sustainability dimensions, ranging from stable and regional production of healthy and affordable food, securing farmer livelihoods, taking into account climate change or consequences on climate change, biodiversity loss, and so on. We are also using modern technology and new technology developments, such as digitalization, genetic engineering, or various measures for plant protection, not necessarily only pesticides. And that goes along with a certain level of technology aversion into many today's societies. At least in Europe, we are seeing that, not so much in many other countries, but that is a challenge. And also, the agri-food systems are characterized by a very high and increasing level of internationalization, given the international markets that we have, and also like trade agreements such as the Mercosur agreement that has been recently finalized or almost finalized between the EU and the Mercosur countries in Southern America. So that's a very complex system, and we need people who can handle such challenges. And our objective is to train experts in that sector who understand the complexity of these modern agri-food systems in various dimensions, be it economic, ecological, societal, or political dimensions. That means you need to understand the underlying principles. We want to educate people who can apply such interdisciplinary knowledge and contribute as analysts or problem solvers to tackling such real-world problems in the agri-food sector. We want to train people who, after the training, have extensive scientific competencies to transfer also new research findings that will come up in the past into practice, in the future, into practice by evaluating findings on their own after they left university and incorporate them into their decision making. And one important thing is also that you can effectively communicate with relevant stakeholders and work in multidisciplinary teams with people from different cultural backgrounds. And that's not so trivial in some environments. Our target group are graduate students from either agricultural or horticultural sciences, or with a background in economics and management or political sciences, as these are the main areas in our degree program. That means that qualified applicants have to demonstrate a bachelor's degree in one of those areas. So either economics, basically natural sciences in the sense of agriculture or horticulture, or political sciences. You also need to provide English language skills. I will come to that a bit later. What I can say is that our program pursues a quite high level of supervision. That means that's still a rather small degree program. We just started 2 years ago. We don't have too many students yet. And that means we can work with very high supervision, with small groups and very individual supervision in various courses. And that's usually an advantage for the students. I mentioned before that there are 3 TUM schools contributing. That means we have competencies in the teaching staff and professors in the fields of agriculture and horticultural sciences. That comes here from TUM School of Life Sciences. Also issues related to climate sciences or natural resources and ecology are mainly based here at TUM School of Life Sciences. But there are also lecturers from TUM School of Management, especially regarding the agricultural and resource economics or value chain and consumer economics. And also the TUM School of Social Sciences and Technology contributes with respect to political sciences and governance. And that is all combined in this master's program, Agri-Food Economics, Policy and Regulation. The majority of the courses will be on the campus Weihenstephan, of which I showed the picture before. That this is located in the city of Freising, which is about 35 kilometers away from Munich, but it can be reached very well by train or public transportation. Some courses, depending on your individual choice, might also be on the main campus in Munich, and that depends where you will decide to live, so where you have to commute then. So maybe that answers already one of the question in the Q&A. So this is a sample curriculum for this degree program. We have a number of mandatory modules, which you usually would take in your first, so that's the semester here, first semester, second, third, and fourth, which you would take in the first semester. You would still have time to do some interdisciplinary qualification like language courses if you want, learning German or any other language. And in the second and third semester, you would take the elective modules. I will come to that a bit later. And also do the mandatory interdisciplinary research project, which is worth 10 credits and is a very good preparation for your own scientific work later in your master's thesis. So the mandatory or compulsory modules, they teach the basic stuff, so like an introduction of economics, sustainability, politics and policy, natural resources, technology for agriculture and food, and quantitative and qualitative methods in agri-food research. That needs to be done by everybody. And then you have a broad choice of modules in the electives, which you do mainly in the second and third semester. And the fourth semester, in the fourth semester, you usually would do your master thesis for 6 months, which is worth 30 credits. We have various teaching modes. Sometimes it's lectures, sometimes seminars with or without group works and exercises, and of course, different exam formats that go along with this. Here's some closer view on the 4 specialized elective subject areas. We have agricultural economics with a number of modules which largely cover the economics or things like consumer behavior, economics of water use, entrepreneurship, food economics, and many other modules. So the list is much longer than that. We have the sector governance, political sciences, and sociology with different aspects. Also here, there are a lot of other modules. And if you're interested in more detail, you can contact me later individually if you want. Then we have the field of climate sciences, resources, and ecology, and technological innovations, where you can learn, for example, about genetic engineering, plant biotechnology, precision agriculture, and so on. And then there's also an area of free elective modules with more or less specific modules, so modules that do not exactly fit into one of those 4 areas, where you can acquire methodological competencies like programming, data skills, and so on, or gain some interdisciplinary qualifications like language courses or various soft skills offered by our 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘵 Academy. So in total of the 120 credits of the degree program, as I showed before, 37 credits are from the mandatory modules, and then 53 credits have to be obtained from these elective modules, so mainly from the 4 specialized areas, and up to 20 credits can come from these free elective modules. So that's the main point about the contents of the degree program. You find more information on our degree program website, also with the full module catalog and so on. But studying is not only about the degree program, it's also other activities, and there are many benefits at 𝘗 beyond your degree program. like the 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘵 Global and Alumni Office, which helps you to organize an exchange program either within the EU or worldwide. It also organizes the alumni networks. We have a 𝘗𝘢 Language Center where you can take your language courses for free or get writing assistance when it comes to your thesis. We have a very good sports center where you can do many different kinds of sports, usually for free. We have a 𝘗𝘢 Career Center, which helps you to proceed with your career or see what can come after your studies. So they make you fit for the German or in general job market. They organize career days. They have a job portal. They offer mentoring. And there are also numerous student clubs where you can engage, from chorus, orchestra to various technical things. So when you get the presentation, you can click those links and see what is offered. And it might also be interesting to read some of the stories from the worldwide 𝘗𝘢 community, where previous graduates at 𝘗𝘢 share their experiences at 𝘗𝘢 and show what they have made of their 𝘗𝘢 degree in the end. Usually the question comes, what are the potential working fields of graduates? So this could be either in international organizations and NGOs, which are active in the agri-food sector, such as EU agencies, FAO, World Bank, and so on, but also national and regional ministries and their associated authorities. It could be regulatory authorities at national or international levels, such as the EFSA, the European Food Safety Authority. It could be jobs in the sustainability management and corporate social responsibility in the food processing or consulting industry. It could also be in the media and communication sector, because communicating what's going on, what's the current understanding is also important. But of course, you can also continue your academic career at the university or in public research, starting with doing a PhD and then see where it leads you. Yeah. So application and admission, here are the main points. So you can only start this program in winter semesters. So the next winter semester, 2026-27, the lectures would start on 12th of October. Our application website is already open and it closes on 31st of May. That means you can apply until then, but I would recommend to apply as early as you can, because sometimes it turns out that documents are not complete and then you have to resubmit something. And the earlier you know that the formal part of your application is okay, the better. Our admission requirements are that you already, by the time of application, have finished your bachelor's degree in agricultural or horticultural sciences, political sciences, economics or business administration, or a comparable degree program. You need a proof of the English language. So if your native language or language of instruction was English, then this is usually stated in your bachelor's degree documents, or you have to provide one of those English tests like TOEFL, IELTS, or Cambridge Main Suite of English examinations. And we have a attitude assessment test that is an online test, and I will come to that later. The general application process is described in more detail on our program website, specifically for the program, but also the 𝘗𝘢 general websites have information on the exact documents that need to be submitted and so on. So it is now important for the application where you got your bachelor's degree, or where you get it if it's in the next month. If it's in Germany, it's relatively easy. You submit the documents that are needed via our application platform. That means your transcript and diploma, language certificate, passport copy, and a CV, and optional motivation letter. If you received it elsewhere, you have to check our website whether there are specific regulations for your country. For some countries, you need to get the so-called APS certificate from the Academic Evaluation Center. That might also be needed to apply for your VPD, the preliminary documentation at UniAssist. And I think, Nino, you also have information on UniAssist on your websites. And there it is important that take into account that usually it takes 6 to 8 weeks after you apply to UniAssist until you get the document from them, which is needed for the application at the university. So initiate all that as soon as you can. So apply well in time. Our central administration will then check your documents, but they only check your application once you have uploaded all the necessary documents. And that means check your applicant account and your emails regularly, because if documents are not okay, there's a remark what is not okay, and then you have the chance to correct or submit a correct document within the deadline. And also keep in mind that you might have to apply for a visa well in time, because for some countries that takes quite long. Somebody asked somewhere whether there's a GPA necessary. No, that's not needed for an application to this program. I think, yeah. How many time do I have, Nino?
Maybe 2 minutes maximum.
Okay, then I can very shortly explain the attitude assessment, because that's a two-stage process. Our stage 1 is after your formal submission of the documents, you will be invited to an online test, and this year it will be on 11th of June. That is a test where we have questions in a multiple choice test. 30% of the test is about general and interdisciplinary basic knowledge with regard to regional or global changes in the agri-food sector. 30% is about research methods and mathematical fundamentals, and 40% is knowledge in the fields of agriculture, economics, economic relationships, and current political dimensions. So you can get in total 40 points for the test. Your grade is converted also into points, and then you could have maximum 70 points. And then there's this traffic light systems. If you have at least 52 points, you would receive directly admission. If you have less than 46 points, your application would be rejected. And if you're in between, so 46 to 51 points, you would have to go through the second stage. That would be an interview of 20 to 30 minutes. And then you get again points for that interview. And then you would get your admission or rejection, depending on how you performed in the interview. When you get the slides, you can click these links where you find general information on the application process, the program website. And if you have additional questions which we cannot answer today, you can always contact me via this student advising address, agrifood.co@ls, that stands for Life Sciences, ls.tum.de.
Thank you very much. Give me a hands up if the slides aren't sharing. I'm assuming they are. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining this My German University session. My name is 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈, and I'm currently the Dean of the Faculty of Life Sciences, Food, Nutrition and Health at the University of Bayreuth campus in Kulmbach. I am also co-moderator of the Master of Science program, Food System Sciences, and speaking here for myself and my colleague, Professor Frank Suhr, to introduce this study program to you. After me, Professor 𝘗𝘠𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈 will also introduce our Master of Science program, Food Quality and Safety. I will start with a general introduction of the University of Bayreuth that is valid for both study programs. The University of Bayreuth was founded in the year 1975, and I unfortunately can't see my own numbers now. We have more than 280 professors on campus. What's more important, though, we have almost 12,000 students. Of those, more than 2,000 are international students overall on the university campus in Bayreuth and 𝘗𝘢𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈 together. In 𝘗𝘢𝘥 alone, where both of the study programs that we are introducing today are taught, we have more than 60% international students present on campus. We look at some of the rankings of the University of Bayreuth. We see that in 2025, in the THE World University Ranking, we were ranked in the group 301 to 350, ranking number 31 within Germany. And even better when we consider that our university is only 15 years old and therefore still considered a young university. If we transit to some student evaluations, Study Check 2025, nearly 84,000 students joined the ratings and ranked the University of Bayreuth number 8 in Germany. All other rankings you can find on our web pages and also on the slides if you find the time later on to have a second look. The University of Bayreuth is also in Bavaria, very similar to the TUM. TUM is in the south of Bavaria. We are in the north of Bavaria. The closest larger city is Nuremberg, which is by train almost an hour from Bayreuth, and 𝘗𝘢𝘥 is 20 minutes by train from Bayreuth. We have 7 faculties at the University of Bayreuth. You see them listed here, and last not least in green, the Faculty of Life Sciences, Food, Nutrition and Health, founded only 6 years ago in 2019, with currently 4 study programs. Here you see some impressions of our new campus. We are in, so all teaching activities take place in the picture here in the bottom middle, where we are in a fully newly renovated building. I have a couple of pictures later on of our student rooms. The city of 𝘗𝘢𝘥 has 35,000 inhabitants and can be reached, as I said, very easily by train from Bayreuth, 20 minutes. And our campus is right next to the train station in 𝘗𝘢𝘥, so easy to reach. Why is our new Faculty of Life Sciences, Food, Nutrition and Health in 𝘗𝘢𝘥? That is because we have a number of large international food companies and research institutes that are already in 𝘗𝘢𝘥, including international companies such as IREX, which may not mean a lot to you just from the name, but they produce mixtures of flour for many different products, and large bakery chains in Germany and also surrounding countries use the flour from the city of 𝘗𝘢𝘥 to produce their products, for example. Another international company that is here is Raps, producing herbal mixtures to season meat, also used in many products that are sold in supermarkets in Germany, but also in surrounding countries. Max Rubner Institute is also here, is a research institute that deals with food quality. And now, since almost 6 years, also our faculty is here in the city, working together with the different companies on site to improve the quality of our study programs. Here you see the impressions of our campus rooms that I just talked about. We have very new rooms with state-of-the-art equipment for our practical courses. In all study programs, we have at least some work that you do practically in the laboratory, and we have equipment that is of high quality, and the same type of equipment that you will then also find in food companies. You will learn hands-on on this equipment, enabling you to join a research and development department in any given food company and feel comfortable with their equipment, be able to work with that equipment right away. We also have interactive seminar rooms where we work with different digital tools. We had a #1 ranking among students for digital university in Germany. We have libraries on site and, of course, also online access to almost all books and other services from the library of the University of Bayreuth. The Faculty of Life Sciences combines many different disciplines, so we define ourselves as truly interdisciplinary. What joins all of the different disciplines on campus, is our core topic of food, nutrition, and health. And we think of this food system from many different angles, including natural sciences, but also food law, for example, sociology, supply chain management, etc. Different challenges are subject of our research and teaching. We aim in the section food to discuss and learn about how to ensure sufficient quantities of high quality food also for future generations. In the area of nutrition, we think about consequences of nutrition for the human body, also related to individual nutrition needs. And in the area of health, we look at the interaction, for example, between nutrition and exercise in order to reduce the risk of non-communicable diseases. The motivation for our faculty with its 4 different study programs lies in the sustainability development goals of the United Nations. Here you see them all listed. I'm sure they are familiar to many, if not each and every one of you. And with this, I would then also transition already to a short description of our Master of Science program, Food System Sciences. And here I am summarizing the different areas of study that you can follow as part of this master program. So all of our study programs are interdisciplinary, including looking at food systems from many different angles. In the Food System Sciences program, you start in the first semester with a broad interdisciplinary base across different disciplines. Afterwards, across the second and third semester, you can increasingly specialize in one of 4 directions. And those directions are analytics in life sciences from molecules to cells. So this has a strong focus on food chemistry and analytics of food and connects to the Sustainable Development Goals, zero hunger and good health and well-being, for example. The second specialization area is called Nutrition Physiology from Cells to Organisms. This has a strong focus on health effects of food on the human body, so deals with human physiology and connects to the Sustainable Development Goals, good health and well-being, and also responsible consumption and production. Third, we have the area of food law that is represented as the third specialization of our study program, Food System Sciences. It's called Food Law from National to International Perspectives and connects to the Sustainable Development Goals, responsible consumption and production, and also climate action. And finally, we have a fourth specialization area, bioeconomy, sustainable production, business, and society, connecting to a large number of sustainable development goals, including responsible consumption and production, as we focus bioeconomy on sustainability, aiming to train you to become sustainability managers at the end of this study program. You can enter our study program from an already interdisciplinary background. For example, if you've already studied a master in food systems, this master program has been conceptualized to follow a bachelor program here on campus where the students have followed courses in the different areas of the master program already. And if you feel that you also have some background in food chemistry and perhaps also a little bit in food law or in supply chain management, then you would be a perfect candidate to follow up and deepen your knowledge of the food system in this master program. However, also if you have a unidisciplinary background, let's say either in biology or in food chemistry or in food law or in economics, you are equally welcome to apply to this program, as we start in the first semester with a broad knowledge base, including courses on all of these different topics to bring all of the students with your different backgrounds on the same level to then enter the second semester into the different specializations. With the analytics in life sciences specialization, we aim to prepare you for a career, for example, in research and development in food companies, developing new food products, or also in quality management, for example, of products that are produced by a food company. With the specialization in nutritional physiology, you can equally also prepare for a career in research and development in a food company, but can also think of careers in communication, jobs at media, communicating or consulting about health issues related to nutrition. With the specialization of food law, you can prepare yourselves for jobs, for example, with NGOs or other political organizations, or also similarly to nutritional physiology, think about consulting in terms of or about issues related to the food system or the health system and nutrition. With the specialization bioeconomy, sustainable production, business, and society, here we combine aspects of biology with supply chain management, so economy, and also sociology, so how to communicate with society about changes that may become necessary to make production of food more sustainable. We aim to prepare you for a career as sustainability manager or for consulting about sustainability management to food companies and also other companies out there. So that's possible careers that you can pursue with these different specializations. And on the next couple of slides, I will summarize the study program for you so that you know a little bit better what to expect when you start this study program here with us on our Kulmbach campus. As I said, in the first semester, we generate a broad knowledge base. We go into each of the 4 different specialization topics with 6 ECTS modules for each topics. The 2 first ones that are listed here, analytics in life sciences and nutritional physiology, both have a lecture series included as part of the module and also a practical course in the laboratory where you gain hands-on experience with advanced analytical techniques. For example, in the analytics in life sciences course, you gain experience with GCMS analysis in the practical course of the first semester, and also the nutritional physiology course will include a practical course. The other 2 courses, food law and bioeconomy, combine lectures with exercises to learn about those 2 topics, and you can extend knowledge that you already have or catch up a little bit on knowledge that you may not bring in your backpack already. So we are prepared to start with a cohort of students that has a very different or variable background. And as I said, you can come with in your backpack already some international knowledge of the food system, but you can also apply to the program if you study biology or chemistry or economics. And in that case, you will find in the first semester very likely that you need possibly a little bit less time to study in those modules where you already bring more knowledge, and in exchange need to invest a little bit more time into those modules where you bring less knowledge, so that with an equal amount of work in the first semester, everybody gets on the same level of knowledge across the 4 topics. And these are complemented with a 5th 6 ECTS module that includes things like general study skills, such as research methods, writing, citation methods for writing, and also science communication. And that course also includes a research seminar. So then you have your first 30 ECTS collected already to take them to the second semester. In the second semester, you start to specialize in one of the 4 different directions. And because it may be a bit overwhelming to already choose after the first semester, we've decided in the second semester to give you a maximum amount of choice. In the second semester, you need to follow 6 courses that are 5 ECTS each, and can pick them from the courses that you see on this table. And if you go on the study program webpage, you can also access the module handbook where each of the courses is described. We offer more than twice the number of courses that you need to follow in order to allow you a broad range of choices, and you can combine any of the different specializations that you are interested in go into advanced analytics and food quality, for example, and combine this with advanced institutional and substantive international food law. Perhaps you are also interested in genetics and follow advanced genetics and epigenetics, and then possibly also some economy if you wish. So you can choose, handpick the modules that you're interested in and draft the program as you see fit or most fitting to your interests. We do advise that you keep in mind a little bit what you aim to be doing then later on in the third semester. And if you already know that you want to specialize in food chemistry or in the analytics direction, that you do take in the second semester 2 or 3 courses in the direction of genetics and then complement with other disciplines. If you have no idea at all yet, you can just mix and match across disciplines in order to find out which direction you want to take in the third semester. In the third semester, the program becomes a little bit more rigid. You need to then choose one specific specialization. Within that specialization, you will have 3-5 ECTS courses, and they are complemented with a mandatory internship of 15 ECTS. In the internship, you can gain research experience at one of the chairs on the campus in 𝘗𝘢𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈, potentially also on the campus in Bayreuth. You can also, however, use this 15 ECTS course to gain experience in companies already. So to go out, apply to a company for an internship and do the work there, see how you like it, already build your network and get connections to industries that you may be interested in joining after you finish your studies. Finally, the fourth semester, here is where you write your master's thesis. You would typically do this on campus, so most master's theses are currently written on campus. It is also possible to write it in a company. It always needs to be then in cooperation with one of the research chairs on our campus. So here you see a full summary of our study program. You can also find this on the study program webpage. I have QR codes at the end of my presentation that bring you to every different webpage that you may want to visit. But this is our study program of food system sciences. We cover the food system in the sense of the analytics, the human physiology, food law, and bioeconomy aspects. In the second semester, you can combine across the different disciplines and choose from a number of different courses. In the third semester, you choose one specific specialization, and the internship and master thesis should also topic-wise attach to the specialization, because at the end of the study program, you will receive a transcript that will include the name of the specialization. So you will receive your degree certificate in food system sciences with a specialization that is listed on the actual certificate. I showed you before that at the University of Bayreuth, we have almost 20% international students. At the campus in 𝘗𝘢𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈, we have a much higher rate of international students. So here we are at 64% international students. And on this world map, you see that many of those students come from all over the world. So you're very likely to find students from your country also here once you arrive. I think we have 84 countries or so represented on campus and are looking forward to welcoming you with us as well. For your application, our application period is starting soon. It starts on March 1st and closes on June 15. June 15th is a hard deadline. Your application must be in until June 15th. I can only repeat what my colleague Dr. Bauer said before. This also goes for us. I highly recommend that you apply as early as possible. Many of the things that Dr. Bauer has told you also apply to the University of Bayreuth. You must, if you are applying from outside of the EU, apply via uni-assist. They will perform a formal document check, and this may take up to 6 to 8 weeks. You need to calculate these 6 to 8 weeks into the application period, because we need your application, including the uni-assist documents, until June 15th. So please apply as early as possible. For the Food System Sciences program, or to be admitted, you need a bachelor's degree with a final degree of 2.5, and the 2.5 is the converted degree from your national degree into the German degree that Uni Assist will do. Then we also have an aptitude test consisting of 2 parts. You submit all of the documentation that you are requested to upload, including a motivation letter, a CV, for example, and your bachelor's transcript of records. 2 professors will independently look at your uploaded documents and provide points again for your bachelor degree grade, for your curriculum in your bachelor program, and also for your personal motivation that we derive from your motivation letter. Also here, you need to obtain a certain number of points in order to move to the next level. You can immediately become accepted if you receive sufficient number of points, or be admitted into an interview, or in some cases also, unfortunately, maybe rejected. In terms of your English competencies, you require an English level B2 that you also need to submit with your application documents. Also at our university, incoming degree will be checking all of the documents that you upload. If anything appears to be missing, you will be receiving emails from them requesting the additional documentation before your application is sent to us as the program moderators for the aptitude test. So make sure to check your emails and also your spam box to not miss any of those requests. We ask you to obtain a language certificate German level A1, latest during the first year of the program. So you do not need to have German level A1 before you start the Food System Sciences program, but you need to obtain it during the first year of the program. And in order to make this possible, we offer language courses to you on our campus in part, and also on our campus in Bayreuth. For all questions relating to your studies, we have an excellent study service. You see the people behind study service on the picture here, Dr. Pierre Kaul, Alina Meyer-Hofer, and Helge Biel. They will reply to any email you send to studyservice-kulmbach@uni-bayreuth.de, as shown here. And if they should, in exceptional cases, not be able to answer them themselves, they will forward your questions to the study program moderators as well. Further information can be found on our different web pages. So the first QR code here on the top left brings you to the faculty web page, where you see our research interests summarized, and also all of the different teaching programs that we offer. The master's program Food System Sciences can be accessed through the QR code here on the top bottom left. Then we have on the right-hand side 2 codes, one to our Insta account, which is specifically for the campus in Kulmbach and includes all possible information also on the 4 different study programs that we have on campus. And then what I personally particularly like is you can try out a bit what it would be like to study on your campus. We have recorded mini lectures that you can access through our webpage or through the QR code on the top right here. We have an email address specifically for questions about the Food System Sciences study program. So you can ask your questions now. You can ask them after the presentation, during the presentation. After I finish talking, I will start answering questions in the Q&A. Or you are also very welcome to send us an email to food-system-master@uni-bayreuth.de. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. I would now hand over immediately to Professor Gerhard Lackner.
I have the pleasure today to introduce the master program Food Quality and Safety, which is also taking place at the same faculty in Kulmbach. I'm the co-program coordinator, and Susanne Baldermann, who is also connected, but she is traveling right now. That's why I'm presenting, to make sure that the connection is stable. She can also answer questions later on in the chat, because I have to leave soon after my presentation. But yeah, Since the faculty was already introduced, I will focus on the study program. And here it's important to mention that food quality and safety is a very much interdisciplinary study program. A few words on the motivation, which is of course related to the motivation that was introduced for the food system sciences program, is two big global challenges we all face in the food sector. One is sustainable production of food. One is disease prevention, I mean nutrition-related disease, and providing safe and quality food. And this is of course a major topic in our study program, food quality and safety. But we are covering all of these topics. I mean, a few words on the sustainable food production. What does it mean? Maybe you have heard about climate change, and that CO2 is a major player that causes climate change. And if you look at the sources of the global emissions of CO2, then you can see that 1/3 or 26% of the global CO2 emissions are related to food production. And this is really significant. So this needs to change in the future. Same is true for water abstraction or water consumption. As you can see, agriculture plays a major role there. Disease prevention, also an important topic. There are projections, for instance, that we will face a massive increase of people with diabetes in the next decades. In all continents over the world, which is of course because too much sugar is consumed. On the other hand, we still face deficiencies, especially in micronutrients, especially in the global south. Here you can see shortage or prevalence of micronutrient deficiency like vitamin A, iron, and zinc deficiencies. Another very important topic is the challenge to provide safe and quality food to a growing world population. And you know that often the quality of food might be compromised by product tempering, where unapproved processes are used by producers, undeclared processes. Food might be adulterated by dilution, addition of forbidden ingredients and so on, or substitutions of high-value ingredients by low-value ingredients. Records might be tempered and so on. These are all topics which unfortunately take place all over the world. Only in Europe we saw over 5,000 alerts in 2024. So this is a big topic. And that's why we have a study program dedicated to food quality and safety. What is food quality? Of course, this is a multifaceted field, right? And this is why our study program is interdisciplinary and teaches a broad portfolio of courses. Of course, you might think about taste, texture, appearance, cultural aspects, but of course, residues and contaminants, microbiological challenges, chemical contaminations, food authenticity I mentioned, and traceability. Of course, medical aspects of nutrition play also a role for the food quality. So we deal with topics like food quality and safety, of course, but also food fraud, food protection. Why interdisciplinary program? Here you can see a study that was published in Science in 2018 that dealt with reducing food's environmental impacts through producers and consumers. And here you see the major fields that need to be taken into account. Of course, you might have to look at the production in the farm. And this is, of course, a biological field, right? So you need to know what's going on in the plants, in the animals. But then you see here processors and retailers, yeah, food supply chain, and so on, consumers. This is, of course, an economic topic. That's why we also have management and supply chain related courses. And last but not least, also the policy plays a role, right? So politics might set and incentivize mitigation targets, define and regulate sustainability standards, and so on. And this is affecting law. Yeah, that's why we also deal with food law, of course, also because of the issues I mentioned before, like food fraud and so on. And this defines actually our structure, the structure and content of our program. As you can see here, about half of the courses deal with life sciences like food, metabolome and toxicology, nutritional biochemistry, physiology and immunology, crop, plant and animal biology, food microbiology, chemical food analysis, and so on. But then we also have the legal sciences, which deal with law, introduction to food law, food safety and risk management, food quality and food authenticity law, and the economic topics like food supply chain management, food quality management. So we offer a multidisciplinary training. We have a supplementary module area as well, and a 9 weeks internship, which you can do either in a company or at a research institute or at our faculty, and a master thesis. Maybe I should also say here that the food quality and safety program is a broad program that comes with a little bit less options to specialize than the food system sciences. But this is, yeah, also a strength. Like if you come from a, let's say, specialized study program like biology and so on, and now you aim at working in the food industry in somewhere that, yeah, relates to quality and safety, like quality control management, then you can find a very broad interdisciplinary program that is ideally suited to work in the industry afterwards. So this is the study plan in detail. For instance, yeah, in green, you see the natural science topics like food metabolome toxicology, food microbiology. Then you see the law-related modules in blue, like food safety, risk management law. And then in the third semester, you also have the option to specialize by choosing electives. For instance, we had topics like innovative food products or advanced plant breeding and sustainable food production, and many other courses for these specializations. All the natural science modules include comprehensive practical work in the laboratory. And yeah, students also, like for instance, for the mandatory internship, students benefit from our close cooperation with companies in the food industry, both in 𝘗𝘢𝑥 but also in other cities in Germany. And this often gives really excellent chances to find an employer in the future, or yeah, other exciting career prospects. We also have a research-oriented approach. I mean, this is true for all of our study programs. So we also have a lot of research going on. Cannot go into detail, but of course, if you plan to do your research internship at our faculty or your master thesis, then you can become part of these research programs, like about innovative food law or horticulture improvement and so on. Yeah, what are the professional fields you might aim at? Yeah, food quality and safety already suggests that if you want to work in quality control later on, this is an excellent study program. But you can also choose to work in research and development, or yeah, as an advisor, coach, and so on, political and advisory institutions. Yeah, these are our students. So we have just started this program 5 years ago, and student numbers have increased. And we have now over 100 students in this program, like over all semesters, I guess. And this refers to the whole faculty. So we have in green, these are the food quality and safety students. And this is the new study program, Food System Sciences, that was just introduced by 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘕, some minutes ago, which is also increasing. If you want to apply, we would be very happy. You can find more information on our faculty website. You also for our program, the same is true that June 15th is a hard deadline, and we encourage students to apply earlier. Students or applicants from outside of the EU and who have to obtain a degree abroad need to go through the Uni Assist process first, which may take up to 8 weeks. And requirements: you need a university degree with a final grade of 2.5, which means good or better in the bachelor's. This can be a biological or biochemistry or comparable degree program in life sciences. So we actually have broad applicants from various programs, and you have to undergo a similar aptitude test. You need English at level C1 here, and German. Ideally, you already have A1, but this is not necessary. You can also do this in the first semester in the language courses which are offered at the faculty. The University of Bayreuth study portal also shows you more information, everything you need to know about studying in Bayreuth. So you might also visit this web page. And our study service, which was introduced before with this email address, is also very helpful in answering your questions during the application process, also during your studies. And we would be happy to welcome you at some point at one of our study programs. Thank you very much. With that, I'm at the end of the presentation, and my colleague Susanne Baldermann is also happy to answer questions in the Q&A chat.
My name is 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥𝘷𝘦𝘳𝘴𝘪𝘈. I'm part of the Department of Food Technology here at the University of Applied Sciences in Fulda. And here I am assisting the Dean's office, and I'm also responsible for marketing issues. But myself, I also studied food technology here in Fulda, so I can tell you a lot about the program. But first, I will introduce our university. Okay, good. Fulda is located right in the middle of Germany, so it's really good connected to reach it by train or car. And the next big city is Frankfurt. And that's why a lot of people also say that Fulda is also in the middle of Europe. We have beautiful surroundings around Fulda, the so-called Rhön. There you can go hiking, explore the nature, and also go skiing in the winter. So for example, on Friday, it snowed like 15 centimeters. And I was surprised because I live in the Rhön, and here in Fulda, it's not that much of snow. But if you like to enjoy that, that's also a possibility. Then the city of Fulda is like an old small town, which is very safe. But it's also seen that we have a lot of students here in Fulda. So there are many pubs, restaurants, and cinemas where you can enjoy your free time after your studies. So the University of Applied Sciences Fulda is an on-site campus where all the buildings are nearby. So you can easily reach the library or the cafeteria or the student service center. So let's do the deep dive now into the food technology part. So the food industry is the 5th largest manufacturing sector in Germany. And we have a big gap of skilled labor here in Germany. So you don't need to worry. You will get a well-paid job after your studies here in Germany. But also the chemical pharmaceutical industry may also be interesting for you, as you will have the opportunity after your studies to join either the food industry or also the chemical pharmaceutical industry, either with the degree in food technology or the degree in industrial biotechnology. So at our department, we offer 3 different bachelor degrees. So we offer food technology, industrial biotechnology, which just started in October, and then also the industrial engineering life sciences. And all those 3 programs are offered in English and in German. So now you may wonder, what are the topics that you learn in those 3 degree programs? And here you see those in comparison. So in the food technology and industrial biotechnology programs, the amount of engineering modules is bigger than in the industrial engineering life sciences program. In the industrial engineering life sciences program, the amount of economics modules is higher than in the other 2 degree programs. The special thing about the industrial engineering life sciences program is that in that program you can choose if you want to specialize in either food technology or industrial biotechnology. And so that's also a great program when you are maybe not sure if the food tech for you, because it has that high amount of engineering modules. The differences are also shown on that slide again. So the first 2 semesters are for the basic studies, and they are all the same for all those 3 programs. And after that first year, you will then specialize in your degree. So for example, for food technology, you will have engineering modules in food technology, for example, for animal-based products or plant-based products. You will have modules like food hygiene, food law. And in biotechnology, the main modules will be like cell biology, bioinformatics, and law for biotechnology. And then in the industrial engineering life sciences program, the economics modules will be taught by our Department of Economics from our university. So there you will have modules like investments in finance, marketing and distribution, and consumer and market research. All our programs are full-time studies. So you usually do 6 modules per semester. The programs start each winter semester in October, and it has a very high practical orientation. So that means that prior to your studies, or prior to at least the 4th semester, you need to do an 8 weeks internship in a food-based company if you want to do food technology. If you want to do industrial biotechnology, then you need to choose maybe a different company. And then you also need to do a practical semester in the 7th semester. And I also mentioned that we offer all our programs in German and in English. So if you have a German certificate level on C1, you can do the courses in German. If you have an English level of B2, you can study in English. Or if you have both language certificates, then you can choose which module you want to do in German or in English. So for admissions, you need a university entrance qualification. If you are unsure if you have that qualification, you can use the DAAD portal. I think Nino has a link for you, where you can check if you have the qualifications. Then you need either the English language skills certificate or the German language skills certificate. At least you need to hand that in when you do your enrollment. So you can apply, for example, with English level a B1, but for your enrollment, you then need to have the level B2 certificate. So that's really important to mention this. So the path to your title then may look like this. You first have your basic internship, and we also do offer preliminary courses for mathematics and chemistry at the end of September. So those courses are for you to get all on the same level in those difficult topics. Then you will have your university phase, where you will have practical works here at our university, group works, lectures, exercises, and so on. And then in the last semester, you will do the practical work placement, which should be at least 12 weeks long. And usually you should do this at a company, and there you can also then prepare your thesis. And then at the end of those 3.5 years, you will have your Bachelor of Science. So you may always wonder, or you may wonder, what can I do after my studies? So the main areas of work are pretty similar in the food technology and industrial biotechnology programs, but also for the industrial engineering life sciences program, because those areas of work may overlap. So for example, many of our students end in product and process development. For example, I also worked 1.5 years in that area of work. And that's an area where you can work with either your bachelor in food technology and industrial biotechnology, but also when you finished your industrial engineering of life sciences. The industrial engineering of life sciences also prepares you, for example, to work in marketing and sales, market and consumer research, or also quality management. I already mentioned that our programs are practice-oriented. So we have around 11 labs where our students work in small groups of about 12 to 20 students. If you're interested in seeing what kind of equipment we have, you can scan that QR code and you can visit our homepage to see the pictures. So what we always get asked is, what costs should I expect if I want to study in Germany? So I need to mention that we don't have tuition fees, but there is a small semester fee of around, I guess, 360, 380 euros per semester. Which covers the public transportation. And you should always consider that you have approximately about 900 euros to cover all the costs of living per month. So Fulda is still quite cheap, so you won't need that much of costs for your rent and utilities. What we also offer is a fair for networking, which takes part in October, November each year, where we connect employees and students so that they have an easier transition from studies to work, and where they also may find their practical placement places. So if you have more questions, you can contact us via that email address, ft-applications@hs-fulda.de, or you can visit our homepage, where you will also find our dates for our online info sessions, where students will tell you more about the life here in Fulda and the life as a student here at our Department of Food Technology. If you want, you can also follow us on our Instagram page. So thank you, and I will hand over to Nino.
Thank you very much, Pendo. Thank you very much, dear panelists and dear attendees. I see you are very motivated to study at this great programs, which is wonderful. And yeah, probably I will start with questions for Pendo, because the other universities already answered most, if not all, questions. Dr. Bauer, we are seeing your screen. Yeah. Yeah, it was just okay so that we don't see anything that we should not. All good. All right, let me start questions for Pendo. So somebody was upset with me that I give the mic last to you. What about Fulda? Will their first semester actually feel like both lots of labs, lectures, or both?
So in the first 2 semesters, you mainly have lectures and exercises. I think there are only 2 modules with labs. So there's one module which is called basic principles of scientific research, and there they will have, I think, 1 week to learn everything about our lab. So they will have they will learn how to use the applications there, and then in the second semester there will be also a lab in raw materials. Yeah.
Thank you.
But mainly lectures. Yeah.
Thank you. Is it necessary for internationals to do extra tests to get into Fulda's program?
No. You only need to have the university entrance level and your language certificate.
For checking university entrance qualification level, the link that Pendo also mentioned is also in chat. For all programs, the course pages, the info emails, try to be helpful there. But I think you were more busy with questions, so this is good, better. Good evening. Can I change focus later? For example, more tech versus more safety for batch. So for you, this question.
For
Pendo
Fulda,
again.
yes. So starting from the 5th semester onwards, we have elective modules where you can choose your specialization, and then you can choose maybe if you want to go deeper into food safety.
Another question. Are there any bonuses if I graduated from an agricultural technical school in EU?
If you already studied, then there may be the chance that we recognize some modules, but for that we need your transcript of records, and then our examination board will check if we can recognize your modules, but only after you applied for that program. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One last question for you is it mostly guided classes or lots of self-study?
So mostly guided classes, but for example, for the labs, you need to prepare for yourself, of course, and then you also need to do a protocol afterwards, and that is also, or needs to be done in your self-studies time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there are two questions for Bayreuth University, which I promised to ask now or live. One is somebody with nursery degree, is he or she eligible to apply? And the second one was about the aptitude test. What skills do you expect from level of knowledge and all of that?
Okay, thank you very much. For the nursing, it's difficult to tell without seeing which types of topics were taught in the nursing program. We had applications from bachelor programs in nursing and also something called home economics, and find that it is highly dependent on the university and the study program whether the degree can be accepted. And that already leads me over to the next question. So I would recommend either sending your transcript of records by email to our study service. You find the address or the QR code in my presentation slides. They can forward it to the study program moderators and we can have a quick look for you, which category you would fall into, or you send in your application if you have documents ready, and then we would receive them directly through the application system and provide you feedback as fast as possible. In our aptitude test, we have two phases. One is the written form. So we look at your application documents. You receive points for 3 different categories. One of the categories is your academic background. So we look at what was your study program, which university that you study at, and which courses were included in your study program. You get points for your final average grade of your bachelor program. So the better your grade, the more points you get. The more interdisciplinary your bachelor program has been, the more points you get. And the third category that you get points for is also your motivation letter. We actually read your motivation letter and look for your real motivation, something that is not written by somebody else and something that is not written by ChatGPT. It's unfortunately usually quite recognizable. So find your own way in, convince us that you are motivated. Tell us which part of the study program is particularly interesting to you. That sort of thing is what we're looking for. Not a standard, I'm super interested in cooking, but rather this is the module that struck my attention because. So those are the things we look at in the written form. There's a maximum of 60 points that you can achieve. If you receive, no, there's a maximum of 80 points, sorry. If you receive fewer than 40 points, you would be rejected for the program. If you receive between 40 and 50 points, you will be invited to an interview. And if you receive more than 50 points, you would be admitted without an interview. If you should be invited to an interview, again, we work with a point system where we will ask you a couple of questions. So at least 1 or 2 questions about your motivation, about which part of the study program you're interested in, and also some content questions that we will try to relate to your bachelor program, ask you about module content from your bachelor content, and then ask a specific question about the course that you've indicated from your bachelor program to find out how much of the actual content of the modules you've understood. And for this, you then also receive points.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
you so much.
I hope that's sufficient information.
Yes, it is. Thanks so much. So questions for TUM were all answered, but Dr. Bauer, in case you want to specifically mention any or just provide general, I don't know, ending words, feel free to. do so.
Yeah, I just realized, because there were also a few questions on that 𝘗𝘢 has introduced tuition fees 2 years ago, which I personally am not too happy about, but it is like it is. It's 4,000 euro for this AgriFood master's programs, as for all of the master's programs here at 𝘗 School of Life Sciences. There are ways to apply for scholarships or waivers, and you can find all that information if you just Google for 𝘗 tuition fee waiver or something. And that will also be in my presentation slides that you receive later. It has to be stated that 𝘗, we are a good university, but our disadvantage is the living costs in the Munich area, because they are really high. So you should do good plans on whether you can finance your studies in the Munich area. There's a certain quota for student dormitories, but the waiting lists are long, and it might not be easy to get a spot there in the dorm for the first semester. So take care of accommodation as early as you can. That's really a disadvantage of the Munich area. Otherwise, I think we have nice options in the surroundings, good for leisure and vacation and so on. But yeah, that's a challenge for many students. And if you then have to work a lot during your studies, that will impact your study progress and maybe success at all, and that's not what we want. But you need to be aware of that.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot once again.